Hi everyone, welcome to this presentation of how to use the EasyVirtualFair site to build your booth and check your work. First, when you get to this screen via the link for the backend where you're going to build your booth, you're just going to see this login window. All you need to do is enter the credentials offered to you in the confirmation email you should have received for your fair, and then click the terms and conditions button and hit enter. One thing to mention here before we go into the site is that you want to make sure you're using either Chrome or Firefox. Internet Explorer will not be accepted or supported by this site. So I'm going to enter some login credentials for a demo booth, and I'm going to take you guys through what it looks like to build that booth. So first off, when you get into your booth, you're going to see this page initially. It's your corporate data page, which is a subsection of the Your Booth section of this backend. Over here on the left side, you've got this blue menu, and it will show you all the different sections that you have. First off, we're going to start with company name and display name. These are the only two required options on this page. Everything else is completely optional, and you can enter whatever you'd like. Here, you have to enter something into the boxes, and these two are a little bit different. Company name is what's going to show up in a little gray bar in your booth once someone goes into it. Display name is both going to be what represents your booth on the thumbnail that your booth is represented by in the pavilion it's located in, as well as in the back end where your representative from Workforce is going to go in and either disable your booth, enable your booth, change your pavilion assignments, or reset passwords that have been forgotten. So you want to make sure your display name is both recognizable to job seekers and that you've gotten contact with your rep from the site or Workforce to let them know what that name is so they can easily find your booth to help you out. Here, I'm going to enter Workforce Solutions. I'm going to enter the same thing here. Very commonly, we say the same thing in both of these boxes, but that is not required. If you have a DBA, you're welcome to put that only in this box. You can put it in both or whatever you'd like. So long. These, again, are optional things you can enter in, and they'll show up just to give a little bit more description of who you are, who your company is, and what you do. First, we've got physical location. I like to have this information all available in a Word document or spreadsheet elsewhere, so I can simply copy and paste this information into the site. Makes it a lot quicker and smoother to build this booth. Corporate website. So once you get to any links that you're going to use, all you have to do is copy and paste the URL web address into the box listed. Corporate website comes with the title above it. And then down here you have external links. I'm going to enter a couple external links just to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to copy and paste these links themselves. And then I'm going to name them based on where they're going to go. There we go. And those will show up in their own section of your booth along with the corporate website. Now here you have your images, your first one. This is company logo. That's both going to show up on the front of your virtual booth as well as on the thumbnail that is representing your booth in the pavilion you're located in. You're going to click on this upload image option within this box, and it'll bring up the files on your computer. Now I have all of mine located in one place because, like I said, I like to have this all ready before I build my booth. It just makes it quicker and seamless in order to do so. I select the JPEG image I'd like to upload, and I use, for myself, the mouse pad to decrease the size by scrolling backwards. And so all I have to do is scroll backwards to decrease the size, click outside of this box right here and scroll down in order to increase the box size, and then fit that box around the image as best I can. Once I click save, that image is uploaded and it's in the site. Now, as you'll see right here above that image, all images that you add into the site have to be both a JPEG file and no larger than 5 megabytes. If one of those two descriptions is not met, the site will not accept the image. So you want to make sure that you're following those restrictions on any images you'd like to upload. Now right here, we've got contact information and social media, but before I go ahead and enter that, I'm going to click this Save Changes button, just to make sure I get that information saved before the site times out. Again, this site will time out for security reasons, so someone can't come and enter incorrect information. So you want to make sure that you regularly hit save changes or refresh your page in order to make sure that it's not timing out on you. Because the worst thing that can happen, obviously, is that you enter a whole page of information and then you have to go back and re-enter it because the site timed out on you. So for contact information, we'll just enter in name, email address, and phone number. And this information, like most of the other stuff on this page, is completely optional. But if you would like to enter it, it can be a nice tool for job seekers to contact someone outside of the fair or after the fair is over. Next, we have our social media links. Like we talked about earlier, there are 5 options: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Above these social media links, if you'd like, you can enter a message that you would like for people to say regarding your company if and when they share about or retweet, reshare any posts that your company has made. That, again, is totally optional, but you're welcome to put something in there if you would like to. And sometimes we get a long link like that, and it's good to just scroll back and make sure that it's the correct one. Now, I like to go ahead and save changes after that section as well. Again, it's totally up to you when you do that, but I would recommend doing it regularly just to make sure the site isn't timing out on you and you're not having to re-enter information. Here you have company profile, another image, and more information. This will be the bulk of the information that shows up in your company profile bubble, and that brings up a pop-up within your booth. So this is some good space right here to enter some really in-depth information about your company to help job seekers get a better feel for who you are and what it is you do. Normally in company profile, we'll see a brief description of the company. We'll see, again, the company logo uploaded in this image box. And we'll see more information, usually hold information such as benefits packages, number of hours generally worked, wages offered, the types of positions you have, anything like that that you'd like to put in there. But again, this is all optional, and you're welcome to put whatever you would like. I'm going to go ahead and take the preloaded options that I have and copy and paste them into these. First, we've got company profile information, and then we have more information. This process, again, I'm just going to make sure I have a JPEG that's no larger than 5 megabytes. And to upload, I'm going to click on this upload image button in this box, which will bring up this page right here, or whatever your files will look like in your computer. I'll click on the image I want to upload. Once I hit save, so long as the image is a JPEG and no larger than 5 megabytes, it's easy enough then to just upload it into the site. Down here at the bottom, there's another Save Changes button, so I'll usually use that after I finish that. Before we move on to the other sections of the site, I want to go ahead and show you in the front end of the site what those changes are going to look like. When you come into the fair, you'll see some welcome banner telling you where you are. You'll click this red X, and that'll bring you out of it. Now, in order to navigate through the fair, the best option is to use this menu button here at the top left. If I click that, it'll bring up every single option as to where I can go in the fair. We'll go to the Employers Pavilion, which is where this booth is located. As you'll see, we already can tell that my name entered, Workforce Solutions, and the logo are already showing up in the correct places. If I click into the booth, that logo is available here on the front of the booth already. And you've got a few things entered in here. So we'll go to Company Profile. And then here you'll have that bit of information that I entered in both of those text boxes. And you can click this X to get out of there. In links, again, that corporate website will be the first one offered. After that, you've got whatever links else you entered. So there can be up to 4 links in this pop-up. And you'll hit that X in the top right to get out of there. Social media. Those are going to be represented by the logos for those social media websites. So no need to put in those names there. And these will serve as hyperlinks that'll bring you directly to the page that those links were for. And you can hit this X to get out of there. There's also a mailbox function in each booth, regardless of whether or not you do anything with it. It's like an internal email messaging system. It's not very effective, and there are some bugs with it. So usually we recommend using the chat function or connecting with job seekers directly with their emails outside of the fair. I'm going to go back to the home screen here, and then we're going to come back to the back end of our booth. So the next subsection under your booth is design. That right here is going to show the attendant and design of the booth that you've selected. As you can see, that company logo is already showing up here. Up here, you've got two drop-down boxes. You can use them to select different designs for your booth and different attendants. As you'll notice, different attendants have different attire as well as different body language. So you want to make sure that you just select a design scheme and an attendant that best fit your company to represent it to job seekers. Now, one thing about this page that's a little tricky is that there is a Save Changes button, but you have to scroll down to the bottom right in order to find it. So again, when you click on design, you'll be brought to this image right here. And if you scroll down, you can find Save Changes. Now, the reason that's most important is because, and I'll go ahead and save the changes I've already made, just to make sure nothing changes. These two sections, design and banner and poster, are directly connected. As you'll see in design, there are two blank whiteboards, this one right here and this one right here. And you could add images in those boards by going to banner and poster. After you enter them in banner and or poster, you'll have to go back to design, scroll down and hit Save Changes. And I'll show you what that looks like here. To upload a poster, you're going to click Add Poster. Click Upload Poster in this box, just like you did on that first page with your company logo. It'll bring up the files in your computer. You'll select the image you'd like to upload. Again, you got to make sure it's a JPEG and no larger than 5 megabytes. Crop it to fit, click Save, and you'll see it uploaded there, and hit OK, which will then save it in this part of your booth. Now again, after you've uploaded that, you need to go back to the design, where you'll now see that image in the respective whiteboard, scroll down, and hit Save Changes. Once you've done that, all of this should show up in the front end as part of your booth. Click out of that banner. Go to the pavilion we're located in and go into our booth. We'll see that image right there. So you just got to make sure you take those extra few steps and it should show up fine. We'll go back over here. Now we're going to talk about downloads. This is where you can upload PDF or JPEG files into your booth that will show up in their own pop-up. All of these sections where you're going to add downloads, videos, job offers, webcasts, or chat are going to look exactly the same. You'll have this white screen with the makings of a table underneath this top portion, and you'll have this orange oval with add file, or add video, or add chat, webcast, or offer, based on which section you're in. Here, we'll click Add File, which will bring up this pop-up. We'll go to Browse, which will again bring up files in our computer. We'll select the file we'd like to upload, give it a name, and hit Save. And once we do that and the file is uploaded, we'll have two options over here. We can either edit the information that we've entered and click Update to save it, or we can click this trash can and delete in order to take it out of the site. Now, as you'll see, the poster is also located in this bubble here. And now we have a download section here where we can click on this and it'll bring up an option to upload the file that we've just downloaded from the site. You can click this X to get out of there, just like you did with any of the other bubbles located here. Now, if we go to videos, as you'll see, it looks exactly the same. We're going to add a video from YouTube. You want to make sure that any videos you upload are from either Vimeo or YouTube, as those are the only two platforms accepted by the site. You'll copy and paste the URL for the video. And once you've entered that information, click Save. which will then bring up the same options as before, where you can either edit that information or delete the file. Now, if we go to the front end over here and refresh the page, and now we have a new section, videos. And if I go in here, this video is located here with this YouTube video that you can click play on. Now we'll look at mailbox. This is where you'll see anything that is sent to you via that mailbox option in the front of your booth. Again, it looks like an internal email site or email message platform, but there are some bugs and it's difficult to use, so we recommend staying away from that if possible. Account options is your next section. That's where you can change your username or password. We usually recommend changing the passwords if you can, just to be safe, especially since those are easy for your representative from the site or workforce to go ahead and reset for you if forgotten. The usernames, however, are a little bit more difficult to reset and take some time. So that might be a good idea to leave as it is. Once you've entered the information you'd like to change, this Save Change button will highlight yellow or orange, excuse me. You can click that and save the changes you've made. Chat is the next section. This is where you can schedule a time that someone from your company will definitely be in the fair on hand to chat with job seekers. You're not required to enter a chat here in order to use the chat function. You'll still be able to chat during the times you're online, but this is a great way to notify job seekers of when they can expect to ask questions or get information about your company. Again, you've got an add chat option right here, just like the other pages had to add file or add video. We'll click on that, which will bring up this pop-up right here. We can give our chat a title. Something like general Q&A is very common. The date will be the date of the fair you're participating in. Start time, you'll enter it as such. And end time will be just the same. We can put a little description in this text box here if we'd like to. Now, you can hit save again, or as you may have already noticed, there are these cancel buttons in gray and these orange X's in orange in this pop-up that you can use to get out of there if you don't wish to save that information. We'll go ahead and hit save. Once you've entered this chat, as you'll see, there's a lot more options over here on the side. The main three that are normally used are the view option, which will show you again what it is you've entered. The edit option like before, where you can change any info you want. And the trash can or delete option, which will allow you to remove that item from the site. The next subsection of chat after entering the agenda you'd like to is history. Now this is going to cover the history of your public chats for the day. It'll show the date in which the chats were held, the number of messages sent, and allow you the option if you'd like to view those chats. The one after that is your private history. Now, an important thing to note with this is that if you log out of the system in the front end of the fair, the private chats you've had will no longer show up in this table. So if you'd like to do anything with them, like looking at what was said or saving the information held here in the table, you want to make sure that you view that before logging out of the front end of the fair. The next section is webcasts. That's where you'll add any video chats that you'd like to have over any platform like Zoom or WebEx or Google Meet. Just like the other sections where you've uploaded files or videos, you're going to have an orange oval here at the top right, and this one says Add Webcast. Once you click on that, it'll bring up this pop-up window. This one has a lot of information to use. You can put the title, guest name would be the individual hosting the meeting. You can have multiple people on there if you'd like. Guest name is just an option for you to use if you want to in order to tell who is going to be running the meeting. Date, again, will just be the date of the fair that you are participating in. And start and end time. Here we have about the guest, and you can upload an image here. Now, usually what we'll see with this image is either a headshot of the guest or host or a company logo. Once I've hit save, it'll show up there. I can come back down here. And we can add a description if we'd like. And then we can hit save, which will upload that webcast into the site. The second to last section is offers, which is where you'll add any jobs that you have available. It will show up as job postings in the front end of the fair, but in the back end, it is called offers. So you'll just need to make sure you remember that the offers section is for jobs. Add offer, name. Again, you'll copy and paste a link here. If you'd like to add a video, you'll have to select either YouTube or Vimeo and post a video link here. If you'd like to, you can enter a job description in this text box and an image to go with it here. When you're done with all that, you can hit this save button at the bottom right of this pop-up, or you can hit this gray cancel button or this orange X to get out of that pop-up. Now we have another booth where we'll show you what one of those jobs looks like. As you can see, this booth has one job posting listed underneath its name. And when I click in here and scroll down, we'll see a section called job postings with a little toolbox on it. And when we click on that, it'll bring up this window, which will show as many jobs as are posted along with their names. I can click on that job, go in, it'll have the job description here. And if there is an application link, it will show up here at the top. You can either click back to go back to that list or this X to get out of there in order to make sure that your jobs have showed up correctly. The final section on the back end of your booth is the visitors section. Now this is one that can be tricky because it is sensitive information and it gets wiped from the site after the use for that day. So you want to make sure that if you're going to hold on to this information in order to reach out to the job seekers who have visited your booth, that you pull it from the site into an Excel spreadsheet or whatever document you'd like to use prior to the end of the fair. Otherwise, it will be lost and the website nor workforce will be able to share that information with you as it is PII. Now, in order to select people and upload their information into an Excel spreadsheet, you'll need to use the square-shaped radio buttons on the left side of this table. You can select an individual's own information individually by selecting the square radio button located next to them and pick out as many or as few as you'd like, or you can select this radio button at the top left in order to select all the names in this table. Once you've done that, you can hit export to XLS, which will pull up an upload option like this one down here, which you can click on and it'll bring up an Excel spreadsheet with all of that information preloaded into it. Now remember, if you would like to hold on to this information, you need to make sure that you've uploaded it into your system prior to the end of the fair, as it will be wiped shortly after the fair's conclusion and will not be available for sharing from either Workforce or the website itself. Thank you all for coming to this presentation of how to use the EasyVirtualFair site to build your booth and check your work. Please make sure to check out our other video detailing how to navigate the front end of the fair and utilize the chat function on the day of the fair. Thank you.